What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back into some more WNBA action. We've only got one game here on this Tuesday slate to dive into, but we're going to dive right into that game, and I'm going to talk to you about which way that I'm leaning as far as the side is concerned, as far as the total is concerned. I've also got a couple player props that I want to check out with you as well, so when we're all said and done here, any of the plays that I do put in officially off of this slate here tonight, they're going to be posted over there at the Guy Boston Sports website, and they're going to be posted over there for free as well, and you're going to find the link for that right down there in that pinned comment. And jumping over there real quick before we get started, we'll recap our Sunday plays. We put 2 plays in. We only go 1-1 on the night because we took Gabby Williams over 19.5 points and rebounds. She played a total of 21 minutes, man. They're getting smoked in that one. Your odds of coming back in that game are a lot greater if Gabby is out there on the court. So that was a little puzzling to me, but nonetheless, we don't get the cash in that one, but we do cash out on Kelsey Plum over 7.5 rebounds and assists. We go 1-1 on the night. Like I said in the last video, man, breaking even's all good and all, but we're trying to make some money. Let's see what kind of value we can find here on the board today. Just this one game, so we're not going to push things, man. We're not going to force anything. But I think we found a little bit here. Let's go ahead and dive right into it, guys. But before we do that, if you could do me one favor and just smash that like button down there. Also hit subscribe, though, if you are new to the channel. That way you don't miss out on any of the action. Let's go ahead and get into this, man. Just one game on the evening. New York Liberty taking on the Las Vegas Aces. We're going to have to wait till 10 p.m. for this one to tip off as well. Aces laying 1.5. That total coming in at 173.5. And this is an interesting matchup because these two exact teams are going to play again in exactly 1 week for the Commissioner's Cup. So going to be some real hardware, some cash prizes involved in that one. So with that said, you know, this is just a 44-game season that we play here in the WNBA. So you can't afford any kind of nights off. Every single win and loss does matter down the stretch. So I absolutely expect these coaches to get after the other side, even though these two teams are going to meet again, like I said, in a week with a little more on the line. So I guess the question we got to ask ourselves here is, do both these coaches lay all their tactical cards on the table? Are they going to hold back some of those defensive wrinkles and adjustments, maybe some of those offensive sets that they might use to exploit the other side's defensive weaknesses? Are they going to lay all that out on the line, or do we hold some of that back, man? You know, kind of hold some of those cards to their chest and keep that in play for next week's matchup. It's going to be a kind of a fascinating mental matchup here, a mental chess game, right? When you break these two teams down, though, start looking at them statistically, kind of got a clash in identities looking at these two teams, man. You got the three-point battle where New York leads the entire WNBA right now for the highest percentage of points being scored from beyond the arc over their last 5 games. But then on the flip side, the Aces are doing a great job lately, giving up the 4th fewest made threes over the last 5 and doing so on the 5th lowest shooting percentage. Because if you look at them for the full season, defending the perimeter has been a pretty big issue for Las Vegas. On the year as a whole, they've surrendered the 2nd most three-point makes in the league. So if New York can get hot early, that volume could catch up to Vegas here in this one. But then you look at the paint. You start looking at second chance opportunities here. This is where Vegas holds a pretty big edge. They are 4th in points scored from the paint currently. They are 2nd in second chance points. New York has completely struggled in those categories as of late, especially sitting down at 11th for both second chance and paint points over their last 5 games. But defensively, the Liberty, they're giving up the 4th most points in the paint, and they're only sitting at 7th for second chance points allowed. I'm going to lean towards the Aces here on this one. Let's look over here at Buckets of Bucks real quick at this zone matchup. It just shows that paint advantage even more. Number 1 in that restricted area, number 1 in the paint, number 2 from above the break threes. You see New York sitting at 12th defensively from the restricted area, coming in at 6th for the paint, coming in middle of the pack at 8th. But honestly, with the looming Commissioner's Cup, the potential punch pulling from both coaching staffs, probably going to stay off the side in this one. So it'll just be a very, very slight lean towards the Aces. I do think ultimately they are the better squad. And looking at the total, I don't have a strong feeling either way. I hate to say that about both the side, about both the total, but it's the honest truth, man. You know, looking at this one, I want to get there with an under because both these squads, they're known for running. They're sitting at 6th and 7th for pace throughout the course of the entire season. But the Aces have drastically shifted gears as of late, man. Over their last 5 games, they've dropped down to 2nd from last in terms of pace. You know, they're trying to execute deeper into the shot clock, and historically, this head-to-head matchup between these two does turn into more of a defensive grind. They've landed well below this 173.5 number in each of their last 4 meetings, and we have seen the Aces hit to 3 straight unders, but we've also seen the Liberty hit to 3 straight overs. We've seen just overall throughout the course of the season, you know, we're looking at those head-to-head matches between those two. Those are last year. We've seen throughout the course of the season a lot more points just overall in general. These totals are sitting up a lot higher over every game. Like 173.5 would have been an extremely high number last season. It's kind of an average number this season. So while I would expect the Aces to dictate a slower, more half-court tempo at home, not really knowing how both these coaching staffs are going to address this game here with that Commissioner's Cup looming really has me just wanting to say not only off the side, like I said, but the total as well. Both these teams can absolutely turn it up defensively, but they both have extremely elite offenses that they're bringing to the court. They both can get hot from deep. They both can get at you down low in the paint. Obviously, we talked about, Vegas's advantage over New York in the paint, but let's not get it twisted that, New York has size down there as well. There's a lot of scoring options on neither side of the ball, so taking an under in this game would be risky. It would feel risky. I'm not sure that that's where I want to get with this one either. So it's going to be some player props that I'm looking at here in this one. If we're playing anything in this game, that's the direction that I'm going. Let's go ahead and dive into those. First off, I'm looking at Satou Sabally of the Liberty. Now, I did take this one earlier today. I took over 12.5. Satou Sabally, her points, over 12.5. Man, I caught that at minus 125 over here at Fanatics. And then before I could even get over there to X to post this one as an early look for you guys that do follow me over there, man, so you could take advantage of that number, it shifted immediately. That thing just got juiced right away. So we see it now sitting at 13.5, which you're not going to have as great of data looking at that, right? Over the course of the last 5 games, it drops from 80% down to 60%. You have that one game that she landed right there at 13 up against the Mystics. But let's check out this insight from Outlier. It's going to show us real quick. She has exceeded this mark in 6 of her last 7 games on the road. And that's not all of last season. This is last season, right? These 3 here. These 4 right here are this season. So 3 of her last 4, including 3 in a row on the road, she has hit up and over this mark. And let's not forget what she did to this Aces team last year, right? Look, the Aces took it to the Mercury in the finals. Satou had her way, though. You know what I mean? Look at her. Over the course of, this is last season, in the regular season and in the playoffs there, 6 of the 7 games, she went up and over this mark, averaging 22 points per game against them. They really don't have an answer for her down low. They don't have an answer for her on the perimeter. She is a tough player to defend, and she is a matchup nightmare for this Aces team. That's already sitting more middle of the pack for points allowed, and if we look at that forward position specifically, drops down to 11th. And we do have to worry about Satou's minutes because they've been all over the place, coming in under 20 minutes for 4 games in a row before getting just under 27 minutes of run against the Los Angeles Sparks in that 1-point defeat their last time out. But nonetheless, she's still an absolute bucket. She has been ever since she returned from injury, shooting 53% from the field, 48% from downtown, putting in 2.5 3-pointers per game as well. She can get after you from the perimeter, which, like we said, Las Vegas has shown improvements over the last 5 games over the course of the season. They definitely have had their struggles. So this was my favorite play on the day, sitting over 12.5. I was really surprised we got that line down where it's at. I'm a little more hesitant to take it at 13.5, but I would still lean towards an over looking at Satou here and her points than an under. But I'm telling you, man, there's something about these WNBA props. Once we start seeing those lines move, right, you catch it at a 12.5, you're great. You catch it at that 13.5, she's going to land right there at 13. Don't get it, man, but tends to happen quite a bit. So a little more hesitant to pull the trigger there, but still thought it was worth bringing up. Thought it was worth taking a look at, and you can also still get that 12.5, like I said, for a juice rate, minus 150. So if that's too much juice for you, could be a parlay piece. But let's go ahead and look at this next play. Looking at Sabrina Ionescu, also of the Liberty, looking at her assist. And this one feels fishy, man, because we're catching that at plus money under 4.5. And you can see in her last 5, hitting this at an 80% rate, 4 straight games she has landed underneath this mark. And these are the only 5 games that she's played this season. So over the course of the season, averaging just over 3 assists per game. This line has her getting at 5, and if we land under there, then we're hitting this at plus money. Like I said, feels a little fishy. Look at this insight from Outlier. She has failed to exceed this mark in 6 of her last 7 games, so this is stretching back into last season even. If you scroll over here and look at the Aces, their assist defense sitting at first for assist allowed. Guard specifically jumps up, but only jumps up to 5th. So these numbers look absolutely great, which, again, has me feeling a little leery. So moves me into the last prop that I'm looking at. This one feels a lot less fishy, a lot more like one that the books just might not have right. Let's go ahead and dive into this one. Breanna Stewart, rebounds and assists over 11.5. It is sitting at minus 104 over here at DraftKings. Over her last 5 games, she's hit that at an 80% rate, averaging 13.5 rebounds and assists. And we can push that back into her last 10, seeing she's still hitting that at a consistent rate, 70%. And we can stroll over here, look at the Aces of rebounds and assist defense. We already talked about the Aces, their assist allowed sitting at first, right? Against that guard position, they're sitting at 5th. Against that forward position, dropping down to 11th, as are rebounds allowed, down from 7th overall. That forward position sitting at 11th for both rebounds and assists allowed. Head-to-head, Stewie in her last 2 matchups against the Aces, she cleared this mark in the one. She lands right there on the hook the previous time. And then just a little more context, you can see that was a blowout, 92-78. Didn't play nearly as many minutes, 27 minutes in that one. Still lands right there on the hook. I like this look for Stewie, man. Over 11.5 rebounds and assists, and especially at that -104, almost even money over there at DraftKings. The only book we're seeing this available at, I'm going to jump on this right away. And that's going to wrap us up here for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the content. Hope you found it helpful and useful. And if you did, please don't forget to smash that like button on your way out of here. Hit that hype button as well. Let's get this video pumped back out there into the algorithm. Guys, smash that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. That way you don't miss out on any of the action. And that will wrap us up, man. I hope you all cash out. Hope you guys have yourselves a great Tuesday evening, and I'll see you back tomorrow for the next one.